She did it. She did it, man. Becky Lynch is the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. Oh my gosh, I did not see that coming. There were some good and bad things about the show like usual, but then there's just the best part. And Becky Lynch just pins Charlotte Flair basically clean to win her second SmackDown Women's title. Oh my goodness. It was a roll up, obviously. It turned into some kind of roll up, but it looked like just a straight up pin. And she's supposed to be heel. Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. Welcome to Down Down Up Up. It's your boy here, Apollo, and obviously I'm hyped because what time is it today? It's time to talk about Hell in a Cell 2018. That's right, the pay-per-view in San Antonio that just passed us by last night. Now, what do I think of this show? Well, I think this show actually started pretty strong, in my opinion. But then it came to a point where it kinda went down a bit, and then obviously the main event, we're gonna have a field day talking about that, and I cannot wait to see all the hate online for that ending. Because it's not like this is some Raw in 1998. This is the main event of a pay-per-view, and you give us that ending. Okay, okay. But still not the really biggest issue I have overall. I don't really have that much bad things to say about this show yet. Let's see if just reviewing the show will change my mind. Let's do it. Time for the results and review. Talk Apollo, talk Hell in a Cell 2018. Let's go. First of all, on the kickoff, obviously now that Renee Young is doing full-time commentary for Monday Night Raw, love it. Jonathan Coachman is now on the kickoff panel. Much better spot for him to be on, in my opinion. I think it was him. Booker T still, I think, was on it. I might be wrong. And Paige and Excess Weight. And just the standard pre-show until finally we get to the first match on the show, only match on the kickoff. I was really surprised that there were no bonus matches added to this show, so that was a bit different. It was the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship match, the New Day defending against Rusev Day, Aiden English and Rusev. Lana, of course, accompanying them, but she did not interfere in any way that I saw, so that was a little bit surprising, even though the third member of New Day didn't really do much either, to my memory, just kind of hyped them on. It was Kofi Kingston and Big E in the match, so classic New Day formatting there. Excuse me. It was a good back and forth. I actually enjoyed this match a lot more than I thought I would with it being announced on the kickoff. I thought they were going to rush it more, but that wasn't the case. I think everyone got their shots in. Big E hit his comeback moves really early, so I was wondering at that point, oh, okay, I guess we're putting this thing away like really early. But no. Rusev and English came back at one point. They really had me because Big E got Machka kicked, and I think Aiden English even used Rusev's accolade finisher submission move. There was one moment in the match where Aiden English did tag himself in. Rusev was a little bit ticked about it, so I was thinking, oh no, this dumb breakup angle. But that's not really how the rest of the match turned out, believe it or not. Kofi Kingston eventually did hit a Trouble in Paradise and got the 3 count on English. New Day obviously won and retained. Rusev trying to get in there to break it up, but Big E was holding him back. Aiden English's tag did not really cost them the match at that point. It was a little bit later on when the finish happened, so no big issues here. I know Rusev Day winning would have been great, but the New Day did just get it back. Hopefully this doesn't do damage to Rusev Day because I really don't see a point in breaking them up. If anything, I think Rusev should be considered the next challenger for the United States Championship. Shinsuke Nakamura has done nothing with that championship since SummerSlam to my memory. So I think it would be nice if we threw Rusev back into an angle with them because we're getting the roles reversed this time. It's a heel Nakamura and a face Rusev. And for everyone still curious about it, accept it at this point. I think hopefully we can just forget about this breakup angle and look at Rusev Day, the faction, as a face. If not, then the turn might be happening really soon between one of those two, possibly even this week on SmackDown. I'm not just totally letting it creep out of my mind. It's still luring near my head, just thinking, oh no, when's it going to happen? Then when's the breakup going to happen? But maybe it won't. Maybe after Hell in a Cell, we can all feel good thinking that, no, it's all good. But this does remind me of how it somewhat teased me last year. It wasn't a big deal, but it was the kickoff for last year's Hell in a Cell, Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin versus the Hype Bros. Mojo did not turn on Zack at that point in time, but he did a little bit later on. So we'll see what happens. Overall, I felt like I had a lot to say about this match. I'm a bit happy it grabbed my attention that much. It was enjoyable. This, ironically, well, not really ironically, but more interesting, was New Day's fourth tag team title defense in a row at Hell in a Cell, the pay-per-view. So that's really cool. Out of the 4 defenses they've had, 1 they've lost, obviously last year, the Usos. 3, they have retained their titles, twice by straight up wins, the other one by a DQ loss against the Bar in 2016. So overall, well done, New Day. And I'm pretty sure there was a segment during the show where they announced at the Super Show in Australia, it's going to be the New Day versus the Bar for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Again, I'm pretty sure at this point New Day are going to keep the titles for now, but I'm looking forward to the match. It should be good. The Bar have been close to getting another opportunity lately through tournaments, but it doesn't look like they need to win any tournaments this time, just thrown straight in the mix. Good stuff. Moving on to the main show, we kicked off, and I have my list right here, we kicked off with Hell in a Cell, just like last year, the year before. I think this is the 3rd Hell in a Cell pay-per-view in a row where a Hell in a Cell match has kicked off the main show. So, good choices, and in my opinion, the overall better Hell in a Cell match. It was Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy. This match surprised me a bit more than I thought it would. I think we were all expecting Jeff Hardy to just do something really crazy and hurt himself, but no, there were some actually really good spots in there, and some really disturbing looking ones too. Jeff Hardy being front suplexed, not through the ladder, but through the ladder set up backwards. So that didn't look too fun. And then Orton getting his leg and back just cut open. Like, oh my goodness, man. Jeff Hardy was whipping him with his own belt with the spike side or whatever. And man, it looked like a chunk of Randy Orton's leg was just taken out. He was cut, and I don't think he was happy about it either. I don't think Orton has taken that kind of punishment in the WWE for a long time now. I guess the closest thing last time, it might have been the Lesnar elbows at SummerSlam. But this was still really good. Jeff Hardy even swerved me. I was thinking, oh my goodness, he's actually going to win. Swanton bomb on a chair that was on Randy Orton. 1, 2, no. Orton kicked out of that, man. And then after a lot more, I'm not going to go too in detailed about it, but one spot I'd like to talk about before the finish, obviously the screwdriver through Jeff's ear and twisting. Oh my gosh, it was so cringy. I've never felt that disturbed watching something like that in Hell in a Cell since maybe 2003 when Triple H was using the freaking screwdriver. Oh man, that match with Kevin Nash. A lot of people obviously looked past a lot of that, but that was a really good and disturbing match at the same time. And then the finish. I think everyone just told themselves, okay, Jeff Hardy is going to climb to the top of Hell in a Cell, take himself out, possibly the last match of his career. I didn't feel that way about this being the last match of his career. It's a possibility. But Jeff did not escape the Hell in a Cell. Nobody did. What he did was grab some ladders, climb to the top of one, held on to the cell, inside the cell, obviously, did some little flips where Randy Orton is lying on a table, like just back and forth, swinging himself back and forth, finally dropping himself. Orton moved. Jeff falls like face first through the table. Man, that looked like a nasty landing. And then it really got scary because the referee was going nuts. Look, raise the cell, come on, bring the EMTs. Stop this match. Orton's looking around like, come on, we're going to finish this. He goes for the pin. The referee's not counting the pin until finally 1, 2, 3. Randy Orton wins. Jeff Hardy is seriously hurt. Hopefully just kayfabe. I really hope he's okay. Give him some time off, please. And then there was announcements later throughout the show that Jeff Hardy was having eternal bleeding and whatnot. Man, that felt real, and that's exactly what I wanted this ending to feel. It took me a while to fully understand what this was supposed to do, but in the end, I will appreciate it. Well done. I took the gamble with Jeff Hardy in the predictions because I thought maybe he'll get a good feel moment leaving. Maybe it'll work. I'm going to be hopeful for this, for Jeff Hardy. But no. Randy Orton got it. Fair play. I do appreciate the match and what they tried to do. Maybe it didn't live up to the full potential they were expecting it to, but I liked it. And it was my favorite cell match of the night. So good job, guys. Moving on to number 3. It was, of course, the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Becky Lynch, who's supposed to be the heel, versus Charlotte Flair, who's supposed to be the face. Get out of here. And the match itself was actually a really good back and forth match. Just a classic match between Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. It looked like at points that Becky Lynch might have got disqualified, not breaking the count at certain times when Charlotte was in the ropes. And it was close. Some of it was close, but no, Becky clearly wanted to win the title. She wasn't flipping out or anything like that. But then, after teases of submissions, even the disarmer was on her, just a few more back and forths, and then finally Becky gets the leverage for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Becky Lynch wins the SmackDown Women's Championship for a second time. In my opinion, clean as a whistle. And she didn't shake Charlotte Flair's hand after the match. She just hold the title right in her face and then walked away. So they didn't hurt anything by doing that. Charlotte could have attacked her after and could have had a double turn, but I guess that's still not what they're going for. But clearly, unlike Strowman, they are not pushing this Becky heel turn. So, all right. Fair play. I'm just more happy that Becky won. It was such a good feel moment, and I don't have any complaints otherwise. I'm so happy Becky Lynch won the title. I'm just surprised it was this early. But it was. It was this early. I guess we couldn't wait for Evolution. Becky Lynch just straight up did it. Awesome. Moving on. Match number 4. It was, in my opinion, the match of the night. It was the Raw Tag Team Championship match. Oh man, this got good. It took a little bit after the hot tags and waiting and everything, but finally, I think it was the last 7-10 minutes of the match that was just crazy back and forth between Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler. I give all these men all the credit in the world. I loved this match. This was great. I legitimately did not know who was going to win at one point. I was thinking in my head that this was really just going to be disqualification. Nothing really changes here and whatnot. Gonna make Dean Ambrose look good though because it's his pay-per-view return match. And it really did all that. But then all of a sudden, Drew McIntyre gets a Claymore as Rollins was, I think he had Dolph Ziggler in a suplex position of some kind. Ziggler gets the pin, pins the Intercontinental Champion, and the Raw Tag Team Champions retain their titles. Drew McIntyre carries off Dolph Ziggler and the titles in the sunset. Huge surprise to me. I didn't think this match was going to get a pinfall ending. But they did it. They beat Rollins and Ambrose. McIntyre and Ziggler. Props to you. Awesome match. No complaints here. I didn't see the titles changing hands. So, putting in that work, good job. See where it goes from here because now there's still a 6-man tag announced for the Super Show. Shield versus Team Strowman. Ziggler and McIntyre, obviously. I'm not going to call them their silly name that has been said on TV a couple weeks now. It just sounds silly. And I'm glad I can't remember it because I remember I didn't like it. Moving on, match number 5. I was a bit ticked it was this early, but it wasn't the greatest thing in the world. Still good, though. Still good, but we'll get through it. It's the WWE Championship match. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. Now, of course, I think we've all enjoyed the back and forth banter of talking and promos between these two, especially Samoa Joe reading his bedtime story. But where's the wrestling? Where's the wrestling, man? It was Hell in a Cell and SummerSlam, and I'm pretty sure that's still just about it. So, here we go. Hell in a Cell, their match, here's the thing. SummerSlam, I felt like I enjoyed that a bit better than this, because it got slow at this point, then it picked up, and then it got a bit slow again. But I'm not criticizing it. It was still okay. I mainly just would like to talk about the finish. I know a lot of people had their mixed opinions about this. Me personally, I couldn't see AJ losing the championship still. Samoa Joe got the DQ win at SummerSlam. I think we should do this even Aaron Stevens and hopefully not ruin Samoa Joe. And this did that. This actually did that. It was a ending I've seen multiple times, most recently coming at NXT TakeOver 4 with the NXT Women's Championship match between Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. Samoa Joe finally gets the coquina clutch on AJ, trying to push him down, gets him down. AJ rolls through. 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles gets the pinfall win over Samoa Joe. But not quite that easy in terms of further decision making. When the referee counted the 3, Samoa Joe immediately got up thinking he won, but then realized that AJ won and he was livid. He was immediately pointing out that AJ Styles submitted before the 3 count. It took a bit, but we finally got a good camera angle, or good enough camera angle, and this is AJ's hand, this is the ref's hand. 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles did tap out before the 3 counts. Reminds me of the Undertaker Brock Lesnar match at SummerSlam 2015 when Brock had the Kimura on the Undertaker, but the timekeeper called for the bell before the referee saw the tap out, and then obviously the match continued and Undertaker won. This wasn't the case. This was the end of the match. So Samoa Joe was livid. He eventually got to talk to Paige in the back, and thankfully the feud is not over. Samoa Joe just doesn't get put down here. They are going to the Australian show for the championship. Samoa Joe said he wants no DQ, no count out, no excuses. We will see what match they have in mind, but I'm worried for one reason. They have ruined AJ Nakamura by this kind of stipulation. Because remember, okay, we got the double count out in Saudi Arabia. Let's do another match. How about no disqualification? And what was it? What was the final result? A double count out at Backlash, the worst pay-per-view of the year, in my opinion, still. So, are we playing those games here? It's a big possibility in Australia, but I really hope not. Hopefully, though, we get an awesome match in Australia. Let's outdo the first 2. Maybe Joe wins in Australia. You never know. It'd be pretty big. Pretty darn big. There's some matches I'm looking forward to on that show, but then there's some matches I'm not at all looking forward to on that show. The John Cena tag team match, I don't care about that. The Riot Squad Ronda Rousey Bellas match, I'm not looking forward to that. Just my straight up opinion. I'm being honest with you guys. As for now, though, AJ Styles and Samoa Joe's feud will be continuing for at least another 2-ish, 3 weeks. I guess it would be 3 weeks. So, yeah, good stuff. Didn't hate this. This was well done. Now we move into the mixed tag team match. It took me a bit before the show to finally realize who needed this win more. And I came to the realization that, yes, you know what? To further the feud, it would actually be better if The Miz and Maurice won again. Because the more talking they do, the more it just builds up in Bryan when he finally gets that big win by himself. A win here with Brie really didn't matter, and I'm a bit annoyed because I think in my YouTube predictions I did pick Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella, but I really just changed my mind and opinions on this. And what happened? Well, it wasn't really the greatest match in the world. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but that ending was a bit disappointing, though. Maurice countering Brie Bella into some pathetic-looking pinfall and getting the win for her team. But in the end, it's Miz and his mouth that make this work. If Bryan beats The Miz in their hopefully still scheduled match in Australia for a number 1 contendership for AJ Styles Championship or Samoa Joe Championship, by then we'll see, it will pay off. We'll see. We will see how long this feud goes. Didn't have much to say about this. Moving on, as we're about to hit the 20-minute mark. If you're still watching, thank you. You people are great. Great to talk about this too. Cannot wait to hear your opinions if you would like to voice them in the comment section below. Moving on to the Raw Women's Championship match. Now, I enjoyed SummerSlam for one reason when it comes to this match. Ronda Rousey just beat Bliss, and that was it, done. But then the feud had to continue to the rematch, and what did we get? We got Bliss beating up Ronda Rousey for a few minutes, and then Ronda Rousey just beating her with the armbar. I am not complaining about that really, because Ronda Rousey, I like Ronda Rousey, huge fan, glad she's champion, I'm sick of Bliss. But this did not need to go on as long as it did. No, no. In fact, I was really hoping Ronda would beat Bliss in a shorter time. So, no surprises here. It got a bit boring at this point because this was the most predictable match of the night. But let's move on to the final match. Of course, I'm talking about the Universal Championship match. Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns. I took a gamble with this one. I picked Braun Strowman. But in the end, it wasn't really much of a gamble. Why? Well, let me tell you why. It was a good back and forth to start with. Then the power move started coming out. Braun Strowman getting the power slam, attacking Reigns with stairs. Eventually, Reigns spearing Braun through a table. Lots of Superman punches. Mick Foley not able to count to 3. They were still in it. Then the interference began. That's right. Team Strowman, Drew and Dolph, and the rest of the Shield came out and just started beating the crap out of each other. Not able to get inside of the cell. They had some nice spots on top of the cell, and I believe Ziggler and Rollins falling through tables, a similar spot to Rollins and Dean doing a few years ago. And the whole time, Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman were just sleeping. They didn't do a thing when any of this was going on, and this was a good 10-ish minutes, I think. So, yeah. But then the big surprise, Brock Lesnar showed up. Haha, I didn't expect that. And did it really help things? Not really. It definitely got things hype because he came with Paul Heyman. He just kicked down the door to the cell. Heyman sprays pepper spray into Mick Foley's eyes. Thankfully, the only bump that man took the whole night, just some pepper spray or something in his eyes. Hopefully it was just water, and it probably was. And then Brock just comes in. He F5's Strowman, F5's Roman Reigns. Another referee comes in to end the match. What? What? Are you kidding me? I'm not joking. The referee called for the bell and ended the match. He called it off. No winner. This ending was a huge disappointment. But the thing is, once Lesnar came out, I hate to say it, but that's what was actually going through my mind at the time. Oh my gosh, this match is not going to get a finish. I don't think this match is going to get a finish. So Brock Lesnar's staying for a bit, and I think his contract extended till another Saudi Arabia show in November. That's what I've heard. And this match wasn't planned. Like, the ending was not planned last minute. It was a decision made if Brock Lesnar extended his contract. So, okay. But the thing is, does this mean Braun Strowman has wasted money in the bank? Does that mean 2 men in a row have wasted the money in the bank briefcase? Oh, wow. I hope he gets it back on Raw, because that's a huge disappointment. If Roman just won, I would have been fine with that. I'm not really a Reigns hater these days. But just this having no ending left a sour feeling. It sent the fans home mad. But the feud does continue. So in the end, Hell in a Cell 2018, it was actually better than the average pay-per-view, but then there was the main event that kind of broke your opinion on the show at the end, unless you look at it more thoroughly. In my case, I enjoyed more of the show. So that's it. That is it. Thank you all so much for watching my results and review video. I will see you all in a later video. Hopefully by now I have uploaded some more parts to my 2K Glitch and Funny Moments series. I don't have that much footage left, barely any of 18 that got through good enough to show. So, not going to be too much. That series is probably going to end pretty soon. If there's something new you guys are interested in, let me know. I'm still old gen, of course, but the new talk series, anything in your mind, let me know. Otherwise, I guess the next time I'll see you guys will probably be for my predictions video for the Super Show in Australia. Looking forward to that. There's a few matches that grab my interest. I've already discussed my opinion so far about it. Good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you thought was the best moment and worst of Hell in a Cell 2018. What do you want to see in the future? Let me know. We still got lots of exciting stuff going on right now. Mae Young Classic, Mixed Match Challenge, the Super Show, Evolution coming up, and of course SmackDown 1000 is coming up. Can't wait for that. See you all in a later video. Keep it real.